Good morning and happy Monday, everyone. We're going to get started today for our slow flow in a nice, easy seat. So legs crossed. I'm going to go ahead and shift myself this way so that way you guys have a better view of me. We're going to go ahead and take the palms and place them up on the knees. Torso nice and long. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. Coming to our Ujjayi Pranayama, our victorious breath. So we keep our mouth closed on the exhale. Nice, soft, audible breathing. And as you begin to breathe here and get settled in, focus your attention inward and just notice where you're at today and where you're grounded at. What parts of your body are touching the earth, where that energy is coming from. And then begin to take that attention up to the torso, nice and long as that energy flows through. Shoulders dropped from the ears, gaze forward. And our shoulders are another area where we tend to hold a lot of weight and tension. So maybe on your next inhale, you shrug your shoulders all the way up to your ears, really exaggerating that action. And then on the exhale, you just release, drop them, let it all go. Maybe you notice your shoulders sink a little further away from your ears. If you'd like, you feel free to do that exaggerated motion again on the inhale, shrugging your shoulders really close to the ears, and on the exhale, letting them go, dropping them just a little bit further away from the ears. Couple more rounds of breath here. And then we're going to go ahead and just make our way to a nice child's pose. Maybe you keep your knees together for class today. Maybe you take them the distance of the mat. Either way, take whatever feels good for you today. And we're going to allow the hips just to sink back as we bring our forehead down to the mat and reach our arms out in front of us. Long, deep breaths in. Again, noticing our groundings. Sometimes our groundings aren't always our feet, our knees. Sometimes they're our hands, like here in child's pose. Our forearms all touching the earth. Bringing us a foundation for each pose. And on the next inhale, let's go ahead and shift our weight all fours, keeping the wrists in line with the shoulders, knees in line with the hips, curling the toes under. We're going to lift the hips up and back, coming to our first downward facing dog of our practice. Finding a little bit of movement here maybe, just for a moment to get settled in. Noticing the hands pressing into the earth, sending energy all the way up to the hips. Same with the feet pressed in. Maybe your heels don't come till all the way to the back of the mat, and that's okay. We're just noticing where we're grounded at today. And on your next inhale, go ahead and lift the heels, Bend the knees. And go ahead and walk your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. Coming to our forward fold. Again, noticing our grounding, our foundation. Pressing all four corners of the feet into the mat. Our hips should be in line with the ankles here, so we don't want to push back. We want to ground down, allowing ourselves to hang heavy here. Maybe your hands don't come all the way to the mat, that's okay. You can always bring them to the calves or the thighs, wherever you're at. Allow yourself to hang heavy. On the next inhale, let's go ahead and come to a halfway lift, flat, nice torso here. And exhale, fold forward. Rise up, filling up, reaching the arms overhead. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Maybe we take a moment here just to set attention for our practice. And that's just maybe to know where we're at, where we're grounded at. Maybe to understand that sometimes even though as grounded as we feel, we may not always be stable. We may lose our step. That's okay. Whatever your intention might be, go ahead and set that for your practice now. Awesome job, guys. Let's go ahead and take another long, deep breath in, filling up completely. And on the exhale, let's go ahead and forward fold. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Go ahead and plant the hands, coming into our vinyasas. We'll offer a couple different options. Let's go ahead and come to a high plank here. And drop the knees, coming to the tops of our feet, lowering all the way down to the mat. Keeping the elbows tucked in. Inhale, baby cobra. Lifting the crown, lifting the heart. Exhale, fold. Go ahead and curl the toes, coming to your knees and pressing the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And lift the heels, bend the knees, make your way to the top of the mat. Flat back and fold. Rise up, fill up completely, and empty it all out, let it go. All the way through, forward fold. Halfway lift and fold. Go ahead and plant the hands, step it back. Vinyasa option number 2. We can always lower halfway down. Curling over the toes, upward facing dog. Press back, downward facing dog. We're going to go ahead and do that one more time. Take which option feels good to you. And remember, there's always a third option. You're always welcome to press back to down dog. We're just getting our bodies warmed up here. Let's go ahead and lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Make your way to the top of the mat. Flat back and fold. Rise up, fill up, reaching high for the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, flat back. Plant the hands, step it back, and take your vinyasa. Inhaling up, press back, downward facing dog. Awesome job, guys. Long, deep breath in, filling completely, and on the exhale, let it go, side out. One more time, deep breath in, and side out. Awesome job, guys. Let's go ahead and get flowing. I'm going to lift the heels, bend the knees, make your way to the top of the mat. Flat back and fold. We're going to rise rise up into chair pose. Dropping the hips, bending the knees deep, keeping the big toes to touch. Heels slightly apart here. Long deep breaths in and out through the nose. Maybe on each exhale you sink a little deeper. One more breath in. And let go, fold forward. Halfway lift. And fold. Plant the hands, step it back, downward facing dog. Go ahead and lift the right leg high. Bring it in, knee to nose, and hold for 3, 2, 1. Send it back up. Right knee, right elbow for 3, 2, 1. Send it back up, three-legged dog. And let's bring it through to meet the hands, coming up for our warrior 1. Deep bend in that front knee. Back foot is really grounded into the mat, keeping it nice and long and active. Arms above, shoulders away from the ears. We're just breathing here. One more full breath in. And on the exhale, open up, warrior 2. Again, notice your grounding. Staying grounded in those warrior legs. Gaze over the front finger, torso in line with the hips here. And on your next inhale, go ahead and flip the front palm. We're going to shift slightly forward and then extend the arm up overhead, bringing the left arm to the back thigh, keeping the bend in that front knee for reverse warrior. Last breath in. And on the exhale, make your way back to warrior 2. Because sometimes no matter how grounded we are, we have to take a few steps back to get where we're going. Inhale back up to warrior 1. And release the hands to the mat, step it back. Downward facing dog. Left leg high, three-legged dog. Bring it in, knee to nose, and hold for 3, 2, 1. Send it back up. Left knee, left elbow for 3, 2, 1. Send it back up. And bring it in, warrior 1. Last breath in, open up, warrior 2. And go ahead and flip that palm, reverse warrior. Now in reverse warrior, your gaze could be up at the top hand, or you can take it down to the back foot. Taking it down to the back foot is going to offer you a little bit more grounding. To the hand is a little more opening. Last breath in, and release back to warrior 2. Coming into warrior 1, and release the hands to the mat, step it back, downward facing dog. And take a long deep breath in, slow steady breaths out. Go ahead and make your way to your knees. Coming to child's pose here just for a moment. Again, your option, closed knees, open knees, but use this time wisely here. Just taking a moment to check in, finding stillness in the breath again, throughout the body. Couple more rounds of breath. Awesome job, guys. And let's go ahead and make our way back to our downward facing dog. Go ahead and lift the heels, bend the knees, make your way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift and fold. Chair pose. Again, dropping the hips, arms overhead, shoulders away from the ears here. Maybe on each inhale you find some length. On the exhale you sink a little deeper. And let go, fold forward. Halfway lift and fold. Plant the hands, step it back to a high plank and hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press it back. Downward facing dog. Right leg high, three-legged dog. This time we're sending it in to meet the hands, coming up for our crescent lunge. We're going to stay up on the ball of the back foot, front knee bent, in line with the ankle, arms overhead, and just hold here. Last breath in, release the hands to heart center, and on the exhale, prayer twist to the right. Again, just taking that left elbow, placing it on the outer edge of the right knee. Go ahead and release the hands down to the mat, coming to your runner's lunge. We're going to go ahead and just curtsy that back foot in, taking it right behind the right knee. And then we're just going to shoot that leg straight back for a 3-point balance. In our 3-point balance, we want to make sure our hips are square, our back foot is nice and long, foot is activated, toes facing downward. And we're going to come into our half moon, placing our right hand just above the front foot and extending the left hand up, opening up through that hip. One more full round of breath. And release the hands and feet, folding forward. Halfway lift and fold. Plant the hands, step it back to your high plank, and hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press it back. Downward facing dog. Left leg high. Bring it in, crescent lunge. Last full round of breath. And on the exhale, release the hands down to heart center. Inhale, lifting through the torso, finding some length. And on the exhale, prayer twist to the left. Woo! There we go. No matter how grounded you are, it does not mean that you are always stable. And that's okay. That's where we're at sometimes. Last breath in. And on the exhale, release the hands, coming to your runner's lunge. Just transitioning here, pressing through the back foot. Curtsy, bringing that right knee behind the left. And send it back. 3-point balance. Again, maybe you play here. Bringing the hands to the ankle, testing your balance. Go ahead and release the hand to the top of the left foot, the left hand, extending the right arm up, and opening that hip for half moon. Last breath in. And release the hand, release the foot. Fold forward. Halfway lift, flat back. And fold. Plant the hands, step it back. High plank. Last one, guys. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press it back. Downward facing dog. Long deep breath in. On the exhale, let it go. Let's do that one more time. Long deep breath in. And on the exhale, let it go. Awesome job. Lift the heels, bend the knees, make your way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, fold. Let's go ahead and come right up into our chair. Long deep breath here. And on the exhale, release the hands to heart center and prayer twist to the right. Remember, instead of the prayer twist, you guys can always do an open arm twist. Whatever feels good for you. Last breath in. And on the exhale, fold forward. Go ahead and heel toe the feet out about hip width distance. And take your peace fingers, and we're going to wrap them around the big toes for a yogi toe lock. And we're just going to fold forward here. And allow ourselves to hang heavy, taking the elbows to the sides, pulling ourselves in a little bit closer. Maybe taking a micro bend in the front knees. Front knees, what other knees are there? And go ahead and release. Heel toeing the feet back in. And halfway lift, flat back, nice and long. Crown of the head shooting forward. And fold. Rise up for your chair. We're here just for one breath. And on the exhale, bring the hands to heart center and prayer twist to the left. Ooh, you guys have me sweating this morning. Last breath in and release. Fold forward. Halfway lift. And fold. This time, let's go ahead and take the feet out the distance of the mat. And we're going to drop the hips and take a real deep bend in the knee, coming into our goddess squat. Bringing our elbows to the insides of the knees. Coming to prayer. Coming to prayer. Really allowing the sit bones to relax, to sink deeper on each exhale. And if you'd like, while we're here, you can come into your crow by placing your hands down on the mat, keeping those knees where they were, in the elbows. So elbows inside of the knees in a sense, and they stay there when you come up. So we're going to really ground down. Notice where your grounding is. Maybe you come off one foot at a time, taking baby crow. Or maybe you lift both from the mat. And if you're in crow, we're here for 3, 2, 1. And go ahead and release. Coming back to your goddess squat. One more full round of breath here. And on the exhale, go ahead and release the hands down to the mat, lifting the hips up. Maybe swaying back and forth, working that out. That is a really deep hip opener. And when you're ready, walk your feet back in to meet. And then step it back to your downward facing dog. Go ahead and lift the right leg. Bring it in, warrior one. Open up, warrior two. You guessed it, straighten that front leg for triangle. So we're just gonna begin hinging forward till we can't reach anymore. And tip over, right arm down, left arm up. One more breath in. And on the exhale, go ahead and release the hand down to the mat. Shifting that back foot in slightly. Toes facing forward for pyramid. So your feet should be facing forward. So if you have to bring it back in a little bit, that is okay. We're going to take a nice lift here, finding length in that torso. And on the exhale, fold forward. And go ahead and release your hands down to the mat, stepping that foot back, coming to your downward facing dog. And lift the right leg, left leg high. Bring it in, warrior one. Open up, warrior two. And straighten that front leg, triangle. Left arm down, right arm up. Remember, the torso is nice and long here. We're going to be really strong in our side bodies. One more breath in. Drop the gaze, drop the hand, pyramid pose. Go ahead and bring hands in front of you, bending that knee and stepping it back, coming to your downward facing dog. Go ahead and drop to your knees, crossing at the ankles. We're almost there, guys. Bring the legs nice and long in front of you. We're gonna go ahead and take our forward folds. We're gonna inhale our arms overhead. And on the exhale, fold forward. Again, if you have a block, you could place your block at the back base of your feet if you're really flexy. Or you can even take your block and place it in the middle of both of your calves here and rest your forehead on it. On the next inhale, let's go ahead and find our way back up to staff pose. And we're going to go ahead and just make our way back onto lying on our backs. For our back bends today, we're going to take back bend, bridge. And we'll take 2 rounds of this. So you're going to bring your knees bent, feet up grounded. You want to be able to reach your heels with your hands here, maybe tucking the shoulders in underneath you a little bit. And on your inhale, we're going to press up through the pelvis, lifting high. Really engaging the glutes here, keeping the knees together a reasonable distance apart. I would say about 4 inches. One more full breath in, and on the exhale, go ahead and release. Back down to the mat. Maybe you windshield wiper your knees back and forth to counteract that back bend. Gonna do that one more time. Again, knees bent, feet grounded. Hands should be able to touch the heels, and on the inhale, we're gonna lift up and press up through the pelvis. Really engaging the glutes here. One more breath in, and release back down to the mat, and windshield wipering legs. We're going to stay here with our feet grounded, knees bent. We're going to take that right foot and place it over the left knee. We're going to take our hands and we're going to thread them right behind that left thigh. Pulling that knee in. You can keep that knee bent or you can straighten the leg. That's up to you here. You want to keep both feet active and flexed and engaged here. Just getting into our hips a little bit. Awesome job. Go ahead and release the hands. Taking that foot back down to the mat. Uncrossing the legs and crossing the left foot over the right knee this time. Taking the hands and threading them through. And breathe. Go ahead and release that right foot down to the mat and crossing the legs, giving yourself a great big hug. And then go ahead and send the feet high to the sky for waterfall. And bring it back in. Taking your hands to the outer edges of the feet for happy baby. Awesome job, guys. And release the feet, knees together. Today we're going to send the left leg long, keeping the right knee in for our supine twist. And we're just going to go ahead and take that right knee over to the left side. Bring our arms out to a T. Again, wanting to keep that right shoulder as close to the mat as possible. Really getting into that twist. Letting go of anything that we might have been holding on to throughout our practice, leaving it here on the mat today. Knowing that we are grounded, that sometimes it is okay to be unstable. It happens to us all. Let's go ahead and shift back to center. Bring both knees in, sending the right one nice and long, and taking the left knee over to the right side. And it's important that we realize that at a time like this, no matter how strong or grounded a foundation or a structure or a person might be, a country, there can always be some instability. And it's something we work through. Awesome job, guys. Go ahead and release to center. Okay, give one last stretch of your choice. Maybe you just give yourself a great big hug. And go ahead and let it all go. Feet to the corners of the mat, arms alongside you, shoulders tucked in. For our final pose of our practice today, Savasana.